What is going on, YouTube? I have been absent again for a little while working on other stuff. I hope everybody is safe and doing well. And one thing, if you guys know me, if I've been gone for a while, that means there's another project in the works. So as we talked before, nephew, when he gets done with high school, we're wanting to take off and do about a year's long road trip to see the country. And well, I've done that before, but he never has, and he's wanting to get out and see the sights. Last time I did it was in a big rig, and kind of limited where you could go and couldn't go, and you had a lot of timeline. So we're looking for just a slow pace and see what we can see and go on. But we've got a couple years till that happens. But in the meantime, we have been fixing up the Apache pop-up solid state camper. And the downside we have found with that is it's a pop-up, so no matter what the weather is, you're out in it trying to get the thing set up and taken down, and you're kind of at its mercy. Plus the storage is pretty minimal. I think there's plenty of room for two people, honestly. I mean, with the bunks on either end, but it does kind of limit you on. There's really not any storage for personal gear other than in your bunk, and then it has to be put into the floor because you can't really leave anything up on the bunks when you fold it down. Just gets into a lot of work when you're packing up and setting back up multiple times. Really, I mean, for probably for an entire year, if not before. But that's also been, we've thought about taking the camper out a couple other times, and it's like, do we really want to mess with the pop-up? We hammock camp a lot, but I can't foresee spending an entire year, hopefully, having enough spots to pitch up hammocks. Especially if we get out west. Over here on the East Coast, we've got trees everywhere, but that's not the case for most of the country. I don't know if you can hear the dog down here. Sophie, quit. Anyway, you're probably going to hear chickens, some other stuff. I'm in a little bit of a different location than when I normally film. In case you can't tell, has anybody figured it out yet? If you have, hit pause, put it in the comments if you know what's going on, and yeah, come back. I'll wait for you. Quit. So anyway. We going to put the camper on hold. I think we're probably still going to restore it, but for right now we're going in a little bit different direction, and I'm pretty excited about it. I hope you guys will be too. We have decided to join the van life movement, but we're not necessarily going to do it in a van. The Skoolie builds seem to be pretty popular these days, and we have been looking for a while actually at some buses, and nothing has really kind of just fit the bill, which mostly is affordable for one, because I'm definitely on a shoestring budget on all my builds. Two is we really don't want anything that's so large you can't take it through mountain back roads. So the old Blazer that we have is awesome. You can get it in pretty much anywhere. But once you hook a camper to the back of that, you're a lot larger. It's if you have to stop and turn around, you have to basically unhook the camper, spin it around, and then spin the truck around and then get back up front and hook back up and go. So we've been looking for something with a fairly short wheelbase and that we can take everywhere and just fit all of our needs into one. So I think we found it, and let me give you a look around and tell me what you guys think. Okay, so somebody had already started to convert this at one point in the past, and we're going to pick up where they left off, and we'll likely be getting rid of all this and just starting from scratch. Might keep one or two of the seats, I don't know yet. But yeah, as you can tell, the dogs are already pretty comfortable in there, so they don't seem to mind it in here at all. This was a party bus at one point, so I'm guessing that this must have been for, I'm going to assume, beer kegs and beer coolers. Somebody has already put a 110 volt electrical panel in. That will be coming out because, as you guys know, I'm already off the grid and have been for pretty much a decade. And the 110 stuff is just about useless for me. Everything's already been converted to 12 volt in my life for the most part, and will stay that way. Let me get you a better shot from back here. There's a 110 volt light up here that's got to come out. It's already found a new home for the neighbor in his barn. He is on the grid. And much to the dismay of my nephew, this rooftop air conditioner, it will have to go. I've got a small 2000 watt inverter generator and it will not run it. It just stalls out immediately when you plug it in on there. So plus I don't really like the extra clearance on the roof, so that's going to be coming out. We'll fill that hole up with something, maybe a vent, but at least we'll just, if nothing else, we'll just take metal and cover it back over. So everything up front is close to original. There's a whole bunch of switches that we will probably never find a use for all of them. I have gone ahead and put a right there a 12 volt power outlet that does give you a readout of the current battery voltage for the cab for the bus. So she's got 12.3 volts at the moment. Why are you not focusing? There we go. I don't know what was going on, but anyway, so added that on. Okay, I really hope that that wasn't completely out of focus, but had a little hiccup there on the autofocus, but it's working again. Anyway, so as you can see, we've got a pretty substantial gap down here at the back door. Not a hard fix, but the wood down there has started to rot away. So all this linoleum that's down here is coming up, and I believe it looks like the original, I don't know if you can see it right about there, the original rubber mat still appears to be underneath, and that's got to go away. Apparently there was a family of cats living in here or something, because it smells pretty horrible. But anyway, as you can tell, the dogs don't seem to mind. So anyway, we will, well, I just noticed there's a garden hose hookup. I think that's what the electrical cord was made to go on. But these 110 outlets and everything, they will be coming out, the 110 switches. No point in keeping stuff like that. That will. There we go. Come on, slow focus. So anyway, that'll come out. And anyway, there are a few things. Of course, you're going to be looking at it backwards here, but if anybody's familiar with Marshall University, they apparently this was a party bus for taking to the ball games, and most of all that'll come off. But there was one thing cool that I think we'll leave with the bus. It came with fuzzy dice that actually have the Marshall logo on there, if the camera will focus in there. So yeah, those will keep. Oh, that's not focusing in. So let's see, wasp nest everywhere. Anywhere there's an open hole, like that guy right there. Man, there was actually a bird trying to make a nest in there this morning. So I pulled the factory radio, well, it's not factory, the add-on radio out of the factory glove box, and was just bombarded with a bunch of wasps. They had a big nest in there. So anyway, pretty standard inside. It's a 350 small block Chevrolet gas engine. It's got an Allison automatic transmission, and yeah, 30-gallon fuel tank for any of the people that want to geek out on the stuff on it there. So I'll show you give me a quick little look at the outside here. All in all, it's in pretty decent shape. Somebody's already took off the lights up top. Those are going to go back. I believe I'm going to try to find some off-road lights so they can be used on forest roads after dark to try to find campsites. But it's got the old front end, which I just am in love with. You'll notice there's a floor jack underneath underneath the front of it. One, I wanted to make sure to pick it up. One of the reasons why we got this thing incredibly cheap was it had no brakes, and there's a puddle of brake fluid after filling it up. The wheel cylinder on this side is bad, so I do not have a socket to take off these Dayton style rims handy, so I'll have to pick one up, and I've got to go pick up some other things tomorrow in town, and I'm probably just going to grab that while I'm there, so I can get the wheel off and find out which style of the 3 different styles of wheel cylinders it has, and order one of those to replace it. I'm going to convert on the list is to convert all these old school headlights to LEDs like I did on the old Blazer. Just makes it so much nicer trying to drive around at night. More of the football team fan paint job there. The herd, that is say Marshall University. They did a great job, but Marshall, the herd, you've got to go. This will be getting painted over top of. So it's I've got other plans. I like the scheme, but not for traveling the country in a bus to camp in. So I got lucky. All the windows were intact. Nothing was broken, and that's awesome. Again, more logos. Even said herd bus was their old license plate, and that is Ohio. I'm not in Ohio, but that's where the bus apparently was from. One of the things I'm running into, and I don't know if you can see it, but every time I pull one of these light covers off, let's see if we can get it to focus in up there. I don't know if you can tell in this light cover right there, but totally loaded with wasp nests. Just eating me alive. So been working on fixing that. So I can look in from the back side. So all in all, it's pretty solid. There are a few rust issues right in here on either side of the back door that have to be addressed, and there is the original rubber mat underneath, but you can tell the plywood is just rotten down there. So we'll rip all that out, see what needs to be, any holes need to be patched, we'll patch them, and go from there. But like I say, the next project will be getting the seats out of it and getting the floor removed. So that'll be, look for that on the follow-up video, getting all the 110 volt stuff out so we can actually just start converting it over to solar and get it ready for off-grid uses. So alright, so that is pretty much it for me for today. If you've ever lived in a converted school bus full-time or for an extended road trip, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the build, whether you think it's something you guys want to see more of or not, and any thoughts. Let me know what your must-haves are for off-road RV living. I'm sure everybody has a different viewpoint. I'd like to hear what yours are. Yeah, let me know places to go, places to see. We're building a list. Like I say, we're a couple years out from him being out of school. He's currently 15, so when he gets done with school, his plan before college at this point, it could always change, but is to do some traveling and see the country. We will be on trips prior to that. I can guarantee you, just as soon as this thing is roadworthy and converted enough to be able to take out to some BLM land or National Forest Service land, that's exactly where we're going to be at. So we are chomping at the bit to get out of here and do a little camping and some sightseeing while we can before school's back in. And yep, that's where we're at. So got some other projects in the works I have to divert my attention onto for the rest of this day. But I wanted to get this video up. I've been dragging my feet on putting a video up because I knew this was coming, or at least knew it was a distinct possibility. I didn't really want to give anything away until we knew for sure it was going to happen, but yep, we're doing a bus build, and pretty excited about it. So anyway, in the meantime, God bless everybody, stay safe, get out in the woods, enjoy, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great one.